is Michale, and she's opening the door to her, opening the door to her art studio space. Hooray! And the door opener, I'd like to introduce you to Jack in the box. And here is the first collage with pockets. And you can actually put things in the pockets. Like here's a print of this. So here's the original, and here's the print. Very different, but this is a parade of individuals, and they're each doing what they love, and there's a little couple here, and they're in their finery, and this one is an artist, and it has a little box with some chalk in it, and this character is in the parade, but he is mining gold for other people. Not as free, it seems. So this is the print, and the prints are $20, and the originals are $200 to $2,000, depending. Now, we're gonna start this blessing of the art studio with a candle and a gratitude, a prayer of gratitude that I have a large space to work at this time. Now, most of the work is Michale's work, but there's a few pieces that are from Johannes. Here's a portrait of Johannes back here. And we always ask Spirit to go before us, making perfect, easy, and instant our way. So just standing here, kind of in the middle of the studio, we're going to scan the studio space, and then maybe we'll stop at some paintings to talk about them. So, dear friend Jim Toddyman is doing this filming, and so I hope he can scan slowly with a pan or whatever, and then Here's a copy of a picture that Dot painted when she was 16. That will mat. I have the original. This is a copy of it. Can you put this one? This is a linoleum cut, waiting for me to print it, but it's 20 by 30. It's hard to find a press. Behind the door.
I already did.
Okay, this is 20 years old, one of my first ones, and it's on a house painter's drop cloth, 9.5 by 11 feet. It's a floor cloth. It has hung on the wall before. It has a central kind of sun symbol, and it has images all around the edge of the painting. And it's a double-sided painting, so it has a completely different color theme on the back, which is the blues. It has some images, but not as many. I thought it could be used maybe at a school. It's had 25 chairs on it. It's made with mixed-matched house paints and some acrylic. If you can get this section right down here. Dribbling paint can be washed with warm water, and I might put a protection on it that they use a clear coating so graffiti doesn't get on walls outdoors. I might put that on this, or just use some floor wax. And then this is that just the beginning of an oil painting. So it's just the first, maybe I did a little bit of layering, but mostly it was a spontaneous piece. And I want to hold this up. This was a gift from Angel Ramirez, one of the 2 Cuban artists who came to paint the outdoor wall. Angel Ramirez, very famous Cuban artist. And Hanoi, a friend who paints fish and other things. And this is a recent collage. What I mean by collage, it's a combination of a painting and painted paint sticks, some other items, and you can see I drilled holes through the painting and sewed through that to hold the sticks in place. Let's walk over here because there's a series of 3 paintings in behalf of children. This is the first one, and it tells a story of a friendship, that developing a friendship and then maybe a romance after that, not necessarily. And then it talks about the childhood that's robbed, awakened too soon, and taken away. These are the boat children, the trafficked children. These are the parents who are watching over. And in the left corner is the eternal child witness, that pure spark that we are given, that wasn't born and doesn't die. It accompanies us through all our experiences, our thoughts and feelings. And so that's the first of these paintings. We'll walk over to the second one, which is over here. And that's this one, right up here. Take the music box down. And so this one represents that witness, that eternal child's spark, that creative, helps us with our creativity. And it's this being is standing forth, this archetypal being standing forth and saying, stop interfering with my development. I have work to do. So this is the second of the paintings for children. And then the third one is over here. And that's this one right here. And it has the siblings in the right-hand corner, the elder sister and the brother. And this has to do with celebration, bringing joy to children. And the large figure is like a Shiva, blue, and the painting is, the hand is painting backwards, painting over the past, bringing forth the new. You can even say the new world yet to be born or in the process of being born. There's a figure just coming out of the trees and the leaves and the flowers that's right to the left of the large being. So it's a celebration of life. And then we'll come over here. I can show you this beautiful mosaic that I got to do on it's called Weedy board. Weedy board is a board that has a thin coat of cement on each side, and then a rigid styrofoam center. And I was invited to this artist healer retreat in St. Michael's, Maryland. And in one day, we were shown how to cut glass, how to glue it into place. We had a large selection to choose from of pieces that Sue Stockman and Andrea Sawyer offered in St. Michael's, Maryland. Andrea and Sue invited me to attend that. And Higher Ability, which was called Voc Rehab, supported me in going to that. My counselor, Coach Jeffrey Dudley, helped to make that possible. So yeah, I'd like to share this one also. This piece. This piece is was part of a larger painting, and I felt like the pieces each one needed to breathe. So I drilled little holes on the edge of it, and I sewed it with some hemp, I think, through to the other side, and I wrote, did some journal writing called The Glorious Now, and glorious is the sound of creation, God's word that echoes in our chest. It enlivens every function of our body. It leads us to the shores of infinite peace. Never do we need to wait for awareness of the ever-present now. So I got to do that. I forgot, this used to be a face mask during COVID, and Linda Walsh made these batiked face masks. She made 1,000 of them, and I would like to honor her and all the other people who made face masks, hundreds and thousands of them. And then they were told they didn't really work. But I still wanted to honor their intention to help. And here's one up here. And this is a collage, and the soldier is sitting there looking out and wondering, what is the meaning of my life? What is this all about? And it's called The Crucifixion of Humanity. And so I have these faces on a totem, and the crossing of the sticks, and this figure walking out of the picture, and things like, they look like candles, but they're really people, beings. And then there's an alligator, just one of these plastic alligator heads, and I met a piece of an alligator image in a piece of driftwood. It's not in this collage. And I had a conversation with the alligator, and the alligator, I wrote on the driftwood, "I never worry." And then I said, "Well, I worry." And then the alligator said, and I said, I worry about extinction." And the alligator's comment was, "Well, you don't have to worry about extinction, because extinction extinguishes itself and you won't be around to worry." So that's the conversation And there's a conversation going on between an elder and a child, a little detail. I don't know if you can see that. Also, there's a series of very spontaneous paintings just made with poster paint, tempera paint. And people came in and I would share with them a painting game called Don't Know, We'll See. And I'll show you a little later some of their Don't Know, We'll See paintings. This is another image that came from that painting that's glued onto the canvas, and there's another painting around it. I'm going to move this over so you can see our friend Jim Toddyman's white turkey, which he photographed, and he didn't enhance it, but he enlarged it. And so that's a white turkey from Vermont, from Waterford, Vermont, taken by Jim Toddyman. So we'll come over here to this area, and you'll see there's a metal plate. It's aluminum, and you could actually do an etching on aluminum. And this was an etching from a drawing of Bill Darling. It was a graphic class given by Kim and Bill Darling, and I have a print of this also. I'll take this one off to show you this collage, and I'll walk over here to the table. So this is several of my paintings are double-sided. So this one I made that it can come out, and then I can turn it over, and this is the other side of the painting. So it has two sides, and the feeling I had when I did it was growing up is not easy. So, but anyways, these beautiful beings come forth and are part of my my family. One thing that I realized was when I was six and a half, or 5.5, my grandmother, Bessie Jules, came up to the attic. Her bed was there in the hallway of the attic, and my bed was there also. And I was sitting on the edge of the bed, and she had a photograph in her hand, maybe an 8x10 or larger. And she showed it to me, and it had 18 people in it, and they were all related to her cousins and aunts and parents. And she said that they were all killed during World War I in Russia. She was from White Russia, which was maybe part of Poland or Lithuania, I'm not sure. But she didn't speak very much English, but that made such a deep impression on me. And as I was finishing this up, I thought, maybe I'm doing some of these paintings to honor these 18 relatives whose life was shortened during the revolution in Russia. So many countenances and people that just come forth in the paintings, and in particular this one. This is also a double-sided painting, and the back is just fireworks on the whole painting. And then I let that dry, and I turn it over, and I start the same way with these streams of color. You can see some of the streams of color crossing, and as the lines cross, I start to see images and bring forth the images of people doing what they love, and the freedom, and how there can be peace in diversity. And the two pieces at the top are kind of suspended. They're helpers that come. This is sort of represents Sadhguru, who's helping, one of the helpers of humanity, awaken humanity. And there are animals and pets and musicians and acrobats and all kinds of activities going on. And this was painted on a blue flannel flat sheet. And it took the paint so beautifully. You would never believe that's where it was painted on. I'm going to close the door so that we can see this painting back here. This is another oil painting, and I don't know a lot about oils yet, but I really enjoyed bringing this forth. So there was one book that I read that influenced me a great deal over the last 3 years. And I read it twice by myself, and then I asked Robert if we could read it out loud together. And now I just opened it up and dip into it. And this, I ordered this on Amazon, and it's actually a signed copy by the author, Eugene Whitworth. And he hopes that everyone who reads the book will have an experience that the eternal candidate is their own higher self, the inner Christ or the inner Buddha. So it's called 9 Faces of Christ, Quest of the True Initiate. And he had to go through all the religions of the time and master them on 3 levels. And it gave me great courage, because every emotion is to be experienced in the reading of this book. And I feel like I needed courage during the 3 years of our inundation with the media and with COVID. So here are some albums. And these albums they're sort of a document of smaller collages and work that I've done that is accompanied by written material. And this was a linoleum cut, 20 by 30. And these are just pages that have some commentary. Playing hide and seek is no fun if no one tries to find you. And this is a story, kind of a journaling. This piece was a large cotton velour, brown velour curtain, large one, long one, maybe 5 by 8 or so. And Terry McGoon purchased this, and it's now hanging in his office at Heart Space Yoga. This is the flyer for this exhibit at Satellite Gallery art opening that Martha Elms invited me to have an exhibit in the month of April. So these are just some other images. So I have different writing, and some of these are done with tempera paint on brown paper bags, but I think this was when the first countenances started to come forth. Warm the cauldron, goodness and strength of purpose will arise. And there's an egg rising up, a creative egg. So that's what these albums are about. And each one just has more. This album has some prints of the artwork. And yeah, so this is the large oil painting, but there's a print for $20. You can get a colored print. There's the child, and so on. And then I'd like to introduce you to my dear friend Bratzo, the healer gazer from Croatia. And Bratzo has been making his offering for 28 years, 11 months of the year, 13 sessions a day, every half hour from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And he hasn't spoken since 2004 because so many hundreds of thousands of people began to flock to him that he couldn't speak one-on-one with them. Oh, there's so much so much that I've received that I don't know what to say, but I'm very happy to have this large painting space to explore. And I'll just mention this painting here, which is, it was a 6-foot by 8-foot painting. I built the frame in our attic in Lexington. When it was time to move, it couldn't fit down the stairs. This is kind of I did sketching on top of it. It didn't have any of the black sketching. But I was painting it, and I looked out the window, and I could see from Lexington to Boston. And that's when there was a lot of problems in Roxbury area. Anyways, I rolled up the painting, brought it with me, and didn't have a place for it. So I stapled it to our garage door. It was 2-car, it was a nice wide door for a 6-foot by 8-foot painting. The only thing I forgot was when the door opened, it ripped off the painting, and the painting flew out, and that had to be cut into smaller sections. So I had to say goodbye to that painting as a whole. And so then this is a painting by Dante Coet in honor of Martin Aroney's memorial celebration on June 20th at White Pond in Concord. I put little jars of color, and Dante got the idea to put a paintbrush at the end of a drill, and he dipped it in the colors, and he began to work and splatter paint with the paint sticks. And he created this beautiful painting. And I have to would like to get him to sign it. So, over here is it started out as a meditation garden. Now I don't know what it is right now, but this is a mask that Robert made. And I'm trying to get him to use colored pencil, make it a little more colorful. And these glazed pieces came from Michale Trombley and Modula Lynn from the Bruno Gruning Circle of Friends. We're now not in the organization, but we still love Bruno and are grateful. So this is started out as a very kind of combination painting. It's on a screen, and it's of this kind of fantastical image. It looks like the head of a donkey here, and it is actual screening that I sewed with my 40-year-old Bernina sewing machine and stuffed it. And this image came up of this kind of musician. And Emmanuel at the time was in the Ukraine, and the Ukraine war had just started, and someone gave me a jailer's key and the Ukraine colors, and this was the time is the time when Johannes is paragliding. He popped into this painting also. And this, I'll show you over here. I'll put it over here. This was a kind of culmination of my reading of the book, The Nine Faces of Christ, which kind of, okay, got instructions to put this up right here. So these are Ziploc ties, and they represent the missiles going from Ukraine to defend themselves. This is a little 2-string instrument, and these are characters, the fox, and different pieces that were going to be a puzzle, but it didn't work out, but I was able to drill holes through them and attach them. So these are the many characters that are in this story. It's kind of all kind of something. Anyways, this was constructed on a blotter. So I was able to drill holes through the blotter, an old-fashioned blotter, and attach the pieces of the collage. This one is of a musician and dancers and singers, and this may go to Cafe Latte. This is just a separate cross, kind of crucifixion of humanity remnant. And this I would like to show you is my cash box. And Mr. Tidyman presented me with this, and I was wondering what this was, and I opened it up. And I opened the next page, and lo and behold, here's a cash box. And Jim painted edges, clamped it down, drilled a hole through the middle, jigsawed this section out, and there you have it. And this, he made this for my cards, because these are some of my cards that I sell for $6 right now. This is my Venmo, what do you call this when you want to my Venmo.
QR code.
No, well, this is the QR code for my Venmo, yes. And what else? What other show and tell? Oh, yes, well, come on over here. I think this is one of the first kind of collaborative collages. Dove started out when she was about 16 and I worked on it and added to it. And then this is the back, and it was a cut-off pair of orange jeans, and it's a mailbox now. Mail in, mail out. And this is also part of the series from the inspiring book that I've mentioned. And I'll show this to you. This is an outdoor corrugated plastic, so it can be put in the garden, and it's called Heart Garden Angel. And here's a little angel. It's waiting for the right owner. And it's made, I think, of mahogany. And this was from a gift from Lisa and Randall. Lisa McDonough and Randall Liacono. Is that how long it is? Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll, and you got some of these. Good. Well, I guess this is the last one. I'm working on this painting. This has had quite a history of, but I'll work on this some more. And these are my work tables and my workspace, and that's it. Okay. Oh, there's something remarkably beautiful about the human countenance, that you can see the soul that shines through. And that's what I do a lot of, is maybe you can focus on these countenances right here. It's to bring these images and to bring them together, and as if some of them are asking questions, looking up. Some are very happy just to be celebrated in a painting. So thank you very much, Jim Tidyman, for making this opportunity to share this. Thank you.